All right, finally get into some additional thoughts for Question by XXXTENTACION. Christmas is over, New Year is over, the wedding we went to is over. Trying to get back into some normality here with my schedule. Obviously, it's been disruptive to my listening time. Also, something else that's disruptive is one gigantic voodoo kitty that is in my lap right now. Look at him licking my finger. We've been gone a lot these 2 weeks, and so the kitties are in need of attention. Very much so, snuggling kitties. Voodoo. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I got a couple notes. I got to say this last week, specifically, I've been trying to get more listens on this album, and it's grown on me a lot. Kind of a surprising amount. I have a note where, I did the reaction to it on Friday like I always do, and then I found myself scared to listen to it again because 17 was so intense. Now, obviously, this is a different album from 17, but 17 left such an impression that in the back of my mind, I was like, God, 17's pretty short. What is it, like 17 minutes or something like that? 20 minutes is pretty quick. This one's a little bit longer, about twice that length, 35 or so. And there was just this voice in the back of my mind going, I just can't listen to that much intensity because while I think 17 is excellent, it is intense. For as short as it is, it's just a lot of raw emotion. Then I finally started putting it on again. I went, no. Actually, this is a much better experience. Yes, there's still the intensity there on certain songs, but I kind of liken this album to if 17 is you're falling through the ice, this album Question is more like, okay, you're laying flat on the ice and distributing your weight so you're not actually falling through. Maybe it's cracking in spots, but you can crawl back to the shore, where with 17 sometimes it just feels like plummeting into the cold, dark abyss type of a thing. But what's cool too at the same time is, like Floor 555, Sad, Schizophrenia. There are intense songs, and I like that. But I almost like the less intense songs a lot more. I think my favorite track, honestly, is probably Infinity 888 with Joey Badass. I love the production on that one. Joey Badass sounds great on that one too. I don't know what you call it. I just call it Money, the song with the $3 signs. That one grew on me a lot. What's another one that kind of surprised me? Oh, I Don't Even Speak Spanish. That one grew on me. With this album, overall, I find it very surprising how much I enjoy it because typically when albums bounce around, I don't tend to like that as much. But I think what works for me in this album, and same thing with 17, is the fact that he starts it with this introduction, this concept that's very important of, you're just existing in my mind. I can take that and go, okay, all we're doing is just bouncing around. Because that's how the mind is. That's something I can relate to. Sometimes you are down. Sometimes you are pissed off. Sometimes you are sad. Sometimes you're in a good mood. Sometimes that's how things are, right? And so this album with that concept does a pretty good job of sticking around, or I'm sorry, not sticking around, bouncing around from these different feelings, feeling them intensely sometimes not so much. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It just captures that essence of bouncing around. And for me, a big part of this album, why I enjoy it so much, is the production. I feel like there's enough variety, and there's enough playfulness, and there's enough, intensity too, man. Like Floor 555 and Schizophrenia are incredible. Schizophrenia specifically, I really like a lot. I really have come to enjoy the production in this album. That's one of the reasons why I like Infinity so much, because I love that bluesy jazz sound that's going on with the horn and the drum beats and stuff. I really, really like that beat. But even Pain Equals Best Friend, hearing Travis Barker in there, it's kind of like his signature sound with the drumming happening there. That one's cool. I like the trap style of Money. Yeah, just good shit. What else do I have? Not a lot. I mean, unfortunately, the end of the year is pretty busy for me in terms of just real life stuff going on. So it does disrupt my listening schedule. But, God, the last 3 or 4 times I put this album on, I'm like, man, I really like this. I really like it. So I think Question for me is definitely my favorite XXXTentacion album. 17 has its place, but the intensity is much more difficult for me to get into just because I don't really exist in that intense kind of place anymore with emotions. Not that it's wrong or it's bad or anything like that. It's an amazing album, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I saw comments, people saying, kind of stop here with XXXTentacion in terms of music. Some people mentioned maybe going, earlier. I might check out some earlier stuff in terms of doing a reaction video to it. But there has been a pretty good consensus of just stop here. These two, I'm sure people will debate that in the comments, but we'll see what happens going forward. Maybe I do one more react to an album by him, maybe something a little earlier, something before these two, and just to check it out. But who knows? Okay, yeah, there you go. I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year, and we will see you very soon.